Let's be clear, we are all consumers. Whether we buy a pound of apples or a kilo of flour or a gallon of water or a liter of milk or a car or a cell phone, a computer, a house, a pair of pants, shoes, shopping either in person or online, it's a huge part of our everyday life. And this is exactly why every day, more and more, we are exposed to hundreds of messages from different companies and different marketers and advertisers enticing us to buy even more, each of them wanting us to buy their products and not their competitors' product. More and more brands are being created every day, and we are exposed to them right away through the power of the internet. Have you ever stopped and asked yourself, how are we able to remember all that we see, all that we hear, as we are exposed to so many things? And how do our brains work for us to choose some products over others? Large companies have hired both marketers and scientists to run numerous studies showing that our brains are constantly collecting and filtering information. Think of the brain as a huge capacity computer that chooses to store some bits of the information it receives into the long-term storage, while most of the information we receive will be put in the trash bin without us even realizing it, because this process is unconscious and it happens in an instant. Marketing companies have invested immense amounts of money to figure out how exactly our brains work and what makes us choose one product over another or one brand over another. And it looks like a healthy balance between the science behind market research and understanding human psychology can bring all the answers that we need. Through neuromarketing, which is the science made to reveal our subconscious thoughts, feelings, and desires that drive the buying decisions we make each and every day of our lives. Believe me when I say that big companies would pay millions, if not billions of dollars in order to get these answers. And they see neuromarketing as a tool to help their marketing departments find out what we, the consumers, are thinking about when a new product or a new service of a certain brand is presented to us. Why is this important and relevant for us for this course? Well, because in my opinion, the more we understand about our own subconscious behavior, whether it's understanding why we buy a designer bag or why we really don't buy it because we don't need it, or how we relate to and assess a potential client, we will have more control over our choices and over how we interact with others. Because the more we understand about why we make our choices of buying things, the better we can use certain strategies to sell things to others. Also, the more we as entrepreneurs learn about our subconscious needs and desires as humans, the more we will create useful and meaningful products and services to bring to our clients to satisfy their needs and wants. And even if you're not an entrepreneur and you're just working in sales, this applies to you. What marketers want and what we as entrepreneurs, as consumers, as salespeople want as well is to provide our clients products and services that they will fall in love with, things that engage them emotionally and that enhances their lives. Still, the most common used method to find out what the buyer wants is to observe their habits and behaviors or to ask them directly. However, with the neuromarketing, scientists and marketers together are able to go even deeper in their quest to truly understand the thoughts, feelings, motivation, needs, and desires in all of us and the multitude of subconscious forces that motivate us to buy. Here are some neuromarketing techniques that marketers and neuroscientists have used to help companies understand their clients better. And based on these results, going further in the course, it will help you as well understand your potential clients' needs better. So you will learn exactly how to sell to them in order to be successful and offer them what they really want. First, eye tracking helps marketers see things through the customer's eyes by following the eye movements of people participating in an eye tracking program. This is a tool that allows a company to see through their potential clients' eyes, not only in laboratories, but in the real purchasing scenarios as well. As modern eye tracking devices are very small and light, the participants in the program would wear these devices for a while going shopping or maybe while watching TV. Based on this, marketers can answer a series of questions. How much attention do consumers pay to items promoted near a store's entrance, for example? Or do clients really read posters and billboards on the side of the road, or do they just glance over them without reading anything? How do they distribute their attention when choosing a product from a shelf in a store or in a bakery? Do they pay attention to product placement when watching TV, or they don't care? So these are the questions they're trying to answer. As you can see, eye tracking opens a whole new world of possibilities for marketing studies by having these answers. Pupillometry does something quite simple. It looks at the size of a person's pupils to see if they are dilated or not. The reason that this metric is important is because a normal human's pupils dilate when they are looking at something they like. This can be useful in marketing because not only does it indicate whether people like a product, but also it can be used to optimize a great deal of things, from websites to branding, colors, to product packaging, etc. Having a visual pleasing website or advertisement, they will generate a greater rate of engagement from the public. This in turn can increase brand awareness and sales. This technique is relatively inexpensive for a large company, and it can also be used together with other neuromarketing tools such as eye tracking. A third method is the EEG or functional MRI. So these days, not only can we know exactly what people are looking at and if they like what they see, but we can also get clues as to what they are thinking while they're seeing certain things by using devices that specialize in reading the brain's electromagnetic activity, such as functional MRIs or electroencephalograms. Marketers use this to really get to know consumers' preferences, like if they feel attracted or repelled by a certain image or projection or a color, or whether a brand interests them or makes them feel bored. In the end, with these methods, marketers obtain the answers to the same questions as traditional marketing studies, but with much greater accuracy and scientific proof than traditional methods. Both these techniques have advantages and disadvantages. The electroencephalogram is very time sensitive and very accurate. It can relate a stimulant to its reaction almost instantly, which is what makes it so useful to figure out exactly what element provides which kinds of feelings in the person participating. However, when it comes to locating which area of the brain causes that reaction, the precision of this machine is reduced. On the other hand, the functional MRI tells marketers and scientists exactly which part of the brain it's being activated with a somewhat lower time precision. So they have different advantages. There is also facial coding, which has been used for many years in crime investigations and interrogation techniques. However, these days, it transposed those traditional fields and it crossed into marketing and consumer behaviorism. Have you ever heard the saying, "A smile is worth 1,000 words"? That's always been the case, but now with neuromarketing, it has changed the art of interpreting facial expressions into something of a science. Just as neuromarketing techniques can be used to measure eye movements and brain activity, they can also be used to read faces with an unprecedented precision. The way this works is simple. When we show emotions on our face, either a smile or being angry or sad or laughing, etc., we use our muscles to do that. By using sensors, these subtle muscle movements can be accurately measured to detect expressions and emotions that people aren't even aware they're feeling. Of course, a small smile or a grin doesn't show the absolute truth of what a person is feeling at that given moment, but facial coding helps marketers by reading and interpreting subtle reactions that offer insights on people's opinions. They are sometimes even able to predict the behavior that will follow. In addition to this, there is sensory marketing, which has more of a practical functional application. By taking the results obtained through neuromarketing, companies can impact consumers without them even feeling being impacted. There are several forms of sensory marketing, such as through touch, through sound, or smell, all of them based on influencing the audience to think of a certain brand in the presence of a sensory stimulation. Smell, it's a perfect example of the use of sensory marketing. Sometimes getting a customer to make a purchase, it's as easy as influencing their senses with the right fragrances. A very common example are supermarkets who enhance the smell of fresh bread to attract people to their bakery section and encourage them to make purchases. Sounds are also very useful. Look at Starbucks, look at Olive Garden, as they always play the same songs in the background, especially chosen to make their clients purchase more often by enticing them to spend more time on their premises. As a fun fact, it's also been shown that consumers pay more attention to lighter colored objects when they hear high-pitched sounds and darker objects when they hear low-pitched sounds. Isn't this interesting? Let's look at some more neuromarketing tricks. We're going to address the psychological tricks used by neuromarketing to boost sales. Psychological neuromarketing techniques can be very subtle. For example, it has been shown that removing the dollar or other currency sign from the price tag of a product in the market, in the store, can make consumers purchase more. It seems that the currency symbol makes people think more about money and losing money than about what they will gain by buying that product. So by not putting the dollar sign or the euro sign, their brains don't make that association anymore. They're just numbers. Out of sight, out of mind. Another surprising example is the organization and structure of restaurant menus. It's been shown that visitors have higher chances of choosing healthy options when these options are shown on the left-hand side of the menu than if they are shown on the right-hand side. Also, have you ever paid attention to the department stores in the mall? Neuromarketing studies have shown that women are mostly the clients that make the final shopping decision on these department stores and what they have to offer. And either going up or going down on an escalator, women's eyes tend to look towards the right when going off the escalator. It doesn't matter if it's up or down, but they're going to look right. Pay attention to your large department stores like Macy's or Nordstrom. I'm using them because smaller companies either don't know or they don't have the funds to invest in doing these marketing studies. But I used to work for Macy's back more than 20 years ago, and I know exactly that their department location, it's not picked by chance. In our local Macy's here in our city, if you enter through the main entrance upstairs from the mall, to the right are brands like Michael Kors and Tommy Bahama and other upscale brands that Macy's sells. If you enter the store through the upstairs but the main entrance coming from the parking lot, to the right there is the women's shoes department. Coming up on the escalator from the lower floor, on the right there is the cosmetics and fragrance departments. While going down the escalator, immediately to the right, the first thing you see is the men's fragrance department. All these departments are Macy's high-end items, and they are placed strategically in each store based on marketing results showing what the client has the tendency of doing. For example, looking to the right when entering the store or coming up or down the escalator. Okay, so now that you have been introduced to the idea of neuromarketing, let's move forward and see one by one a few methods which are used by marketers to make us buy products.